I'm Macy Egland. Only in Newsday, the Florida man accused of killing a woman long associated with the Gilgo case is expected in a Nassau court today. Sources tell Newsday Andrew Dykes is expected to be arraigned in the killing of Tanya Denise Jackson. For years, she was known as Peaches because of a tattoo. Jackson's remains were found at Hempstead Lake State Park and along Ocean Parkway, where the remains of the toddler she and Dykes shared were also discovered. Newsday investigates the use of police force against people of color on Long Island. According to state data, between 2021 and 2024, black people were nearly 11 times as likely as white people to experience force by Nassau and Suffolk police. 5 years ago, a state executive order was issued aimed at reducing excessive force, but our investigation found that goal has not been achieved. In less than 2 minutes, who critics say is to blame. New this morning, a shakeup for Catholics in New York. Pope Leo XIV has tapped Bishop Ronald Hicks of Illinois to succeed retiring Cardinal Timothy Dolan. Dolan submitted his resignation in February as required when he turned 75. Well, Nassau's new budget could be approved tonight. The county's state-appointed watchdog, NYFA, is expected to vote on next year's spending plan. Now, as we've reported, it keeps Nassau's portion of the property tax levy flat and funds 68 new positions. Silver Oak Stable in St. James has been granted a permanent permit. It had been operating on a series of temporary permits since 2009. Nissaquag officials say they see the stable as a key business in the village. And work is being done on Bayview Avenue in Manhasset, which was eroded during Superstorm Sandy. Nearly $1 million will stabilize an embankment bordering the road. Construction could take 3 months. Well, Santa is back to spreading joy after a life-saving heart procedure here on Long Island. 74-year-old Larry Burke returned to NYU Langone in Mineola yesterday, 3 weeks after undergoing heart surgery. Now, Burke, who plays Santa every year at that hospital, thanked the staff who cared for him.
So I'm breathing better, feeling better than I've felt in many, many months, and I'm really very grateful to the doctors here.
Yeah, staff said they didn't know until after the surgery that Burke was the man who played Santa at that hospital every year. It's pretty special. All right, we've got an eye on the storm this Thursday. It is dry today, but we are tracking some heavy rain and gusty winds for tonight and tomorrow. Let's take a look. Today, highs are in the upper 40s for most of the island for your Thursday, but overnight, that's when the rain starts to roll in. Taking a look at your futurecast here, you see the rain through the Friday morning rush and into the afternoon tomorrow. We can also expect wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. It dries out for the weekend and into the start of next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
Newsday investigates the use of police force against people of color on Long Island. Peyton Guyan shares one man's story of being wrongfully detained at his own home.
Get down! Get down! Get down on the ground!
Warren White says he was working on his yard when police officers rushed onto his property.
2 or 3 of the cops came up, they knelt on me, put the handcuff. While they were in the process, the plainclothes cop ran up, kicked me in the shoulder, and cursed at me.
White recalls being told he was the main suspect in the officer's shooting only blocks away. Shortly after he was handcuffed, body camera footage obtained by Newsday shows officers saying White did not match the suspect's description.
It's not the right guy. We detained him already. That's the guy that we got back at that house. Oh, that's not him. That's not him.
The suspect had barricaded himself in a house about half a mile away. Still, officers detained White for more than an hour. They also held White's son, his wife, and his wife's grandmother.
Why at that point they didn't just let us go? Why parade us?
In the wake of George Floyd's murder in 2020, then Governor Andrew Cuomo issued an executive order aimed at reducing police use of force and addressing racial disparities in policing across the state.
Executive Order 203 required any municipality that had a police department to submit a police reform plan by April of 2021.
The Newsday investigation has found the goals of reducing force and addressing racial disparities in policing so far have not been achieved.
So we were hoping that EO 203 would at least provide more transparency and accountability, and it really has not.
Newsday found that police statewide were using more force in 2024 than in 2021, and that Black New Yorkers are still arrested and subject to police force at disproportionate rates. Our investigation also found that Black people were nearly 11 times as likely to be subject to force by the Nassau and Suffolk police departments as white people were relative to population. Critics say that a lack of oversight at the state level has contributed to the reforms failing to meet their goals.
Nobody ever said anyone was going to read the plans. Nobody ever said anyone was going to evaluate the plans or follow up on the plans. They merely had to submit the plans. That's it.
Suffolk County Police Commissioner Kevin Catalina cautioned against making comparisons to 2021 when the pandemic affected police activity. Catalina said, quote, using 2021 as a baseline for police statistics is not representative because COVID-19 significantly altered crime patterns, mobility, reporting practices, and police deployment. But Newsday compared arrest data to use of force in order to account for the pandemic-related decrease in police activity. Nassau County Police Department declined comment on this story. Often missing from discussions of police use of force is the long-term impact these incidents have on the people who experience them.
Every day, I feel like I'm reliving the moment. I go to bed, I'm sleeping, and if I hear a helicopter going right there, my heart starts racing. I had to go to therapy for a long time just to help me to cope with this whole situation.
I cannot see it any other way that our skin color played a major factor in how they treated us.
For Warren and Shireen White, this incident has made them question whether they want to remain in Suffolk County. Peyton Guyon, Newsday TV.
You can read more on the investigation on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Well, find your favorite holiday traditions right here on Long Island. Let's go to Manorville with Carissa Kelman.
It's coming down.
'Tis the season for traditions, and nothing says holiday spirit
Almost there.
like cutting down your own Christmas tree.
Woo! Did it.
At Matt's Christmas Tree Farm in Manorville, you can send letters to Santa, take photos on a sleigh, and meet the animals. But cutting the tree is where the real fun begins. It just takes a little determination.
Almost halfway. Maybe. Not sure.
And a lot of patience.
It'll be ready by December 2026.
With your tree on your car, it's time to trade saws for skates. Water Drinker Winter Wonderland is just down the road, where twinkling lights, giant sleighs, and s'mores by the fire take the holiday fun to the next level.
It's time for s'mores.
Make it a day everyone will remember. From tree cutting to a winter wonderland, a trip to Manorville turns a tradition into a full day of festive fun. For Newsday TV, I'm Carissa Kelman.
And if you still need one, we've got tips for cutting down your own tree on our website, Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box.
What's Up on Long Island is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Island homes and businesses save with solar for over 20 years.
Here's what's up on Long Island. There's still time to see the dazzling Lumino City Holiday Festival at Eisenhower Park. This year's theme is Fantasy Winter Fairyland. It runs through New Year's Day in East Meadow. And take a holiday candlelight tour inside one of the island's most well-known historic homes. Step inside the Vanderbilt Mansion in Centerport, my favorite, this Saturday night.
I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly.
and rock out with the Jonas Brothers. They'll be on the island playing at UBS Arena Sunday night at 7:30. For admission information and more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage. See more on these stories on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
Newsday investigates how 5 years after reforms, the use of force by police has increased, impacting black people at much higher levels. Use of force, now available at newsday.com/force.